Welcome to Rangeland Raw on Shaw, a weekly recap of the high school football games in the Rangeland Conference. All the local teams are on a bye this week except for the Brooks Buffaloes, taking on a new team in the league. We caught up with head coach David Angel and the rest of the coaches after what had been a busy week of practicing and one night of game action. All right, here with head coach David Angel of the Brooks Buffaloes after a huge 66-0 win. Dave, what happened tonight?
Game started off real easy. Got a couple of trick kicks. They left a little spot open over there on the far side. We just kicked it to our best player. He ran for a touchdown. It was 21-0 real fast. So just good execution on I don't know. The biggest thing I think was at the beginning of the game, they just had bad kickoff coverage. Yeah.
All right, so overall, was this the perfect game for the Buffaloes? I mean, 66-0, you can't get much better than that.
No, not perfect at all. The score doesn't really represent, the amount of mistakes that were out there. They played a pretty good game. They obviously have a few weak spots and stuff like that, but we made a ton of errors out there. So we still got a lot of things that we got to work on over the course of the year, and that's what we're trying to do. Is every day we're going to be better tomorrow than we are today. And so, we got things to work on. We're going to go to the game film, and we're going to correct those things next week.
Last week you said that a lot of drives were stalled. You left a lot of points off of the board. 66-0 tonight. Was it mostly the offense that put up the points, or was it defense that scored the points?
It's kind of a mixture of both. We got a few interceptions, some running backs for touchdowns. It was a pretty good effort all around. Just the offense was clicking. We put a lot of our second stringers in right from about mid-second quarter all the way through the end of the game, trying to keep we've got a small squad, so we're just trying to keep our guys healthy for the rest of the year. So. Who
were the guys that really stood out tonight? I'm guessing number 3 and number 10 probably had a lot of points on their side?
Yeah, they sure did. Cody Latrace played really well. Logan Ironside, he was key as a linebacker. He's making perfect tackles.
Did you ever expect to shut a team out in football this season?
I guess we always hope you do, but no, we never expected that, not at all. So we knew it was going to be a challenge right from the beginning, right through till the end, and that each week. And we thought it was a perfect schedule for us because we thought that, we're going to have a building schedule with teams every single time, and then, of course we're going to finish off with Crescent Heights and Hat High at the end. So yeah, it kind of works out really good for us. So we're nowhere near where we need to be, but we're still working toward it for sure.
All right, thanks for doing this. Congrats on the win.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Head coach David Angel of the Brooks Buffaloes, a big 66-0 win over Strathmore. All right, I'm here with Quinn Skelton, the head coach of the Medicine Hat High Mohawks. First of all, Quinn, how's your team rebounded after the 40-7 loss last week?
A lot of kids took it real hard. Coaches took it hard. Not something we expected opening week. And so this week, we're real pleased with the way they've come out. A lot more intensity in practice. We've gotten a lot more physical this week, and I think the kids are enjoying that part of it. And we just definitely want to put a better product back on the field.
Yeah, what was it exactly? You mentioned that it was a bit of the intensity. Is there other elements to it that you practiced on this week?
Well, we could find lots of excuses, but just on the day, I think Crescent Heights was better prepared for us. They came out, played us physical, and compliment those guys for what they did. On our side, I just don't think mentally we were there. I think we wanted to walk in and just come out with a win regardless, and didn't do what we needed to do to earn it. Physically, I just don't think we showed up consistently. We'd execute one play and then not do the same for 3-4 in a row. And defensively, just soft. We didn't finish. We didn't get there in numbers, and we had lots of hands-on guys and just didn't finish. So we're trying to change that this week.
Losing is never a good thing, neither is 40-7. But was it almost kind of a humbling moment that was good for the players to bring them back down to earth?
Oh, I'd love to think it's going to work out that way. I think if we want to take a loss, it's got to be that one rather than later in the year. That's certainly a better option. But I think it made us look at what we're doing, and we need to work harder to get where we want to be. And humbling, yeah, I think it definitely was. We haven't lost to Crescent Heights for something like 14 years, and I think the kids took a fair amount of responsibility for that, and they know they owe it to the past players and coaches to respond and do the right thing.
Seems to be a lot of excitement surrounding this new offense this year. What do you need a little more out of, and have you been working on that this week?
Funny part was, we looked at the film, and the offense we ran the other night, our timing was absolutely shot. It was nothing like what what we did even the week before. Went back to film about the way it should be run, and we just seemed to get off base. And so we'll go back, we'll retool it. We'll also, get under center a little bit and run downhill hard, because we do have the line that can do that, and we got some kids that can run the ball. So we're not, run away from that new offense. We believe it's got some real interesting aspects to it that'll be great for our game, and we'll just start implementing some of our old. And that was kind of the plan along the way, but it's not exactly the way we expected it first week.
You're on bye week this week. What's the plan heading into a league game returning on the 21st?
Well, as it turns out, we lost the game against Regina this weekend, and that probably is going to be a bit of a blessing in disguise for us. Rebound off our Crescent Heights game, give us a good solid week of work here, and then another week next week just to prepare for Strathmore, I believe, on Friday night. So I think the timing is going to be great for us, and if we can do what we need to do, and kids seem to be buying into it, I think we'll be prepared and hopefully get things right.
All right, thanks for your time, Quinn.
Thank you.
All right, so Quinn Skelton, head coach of the Medicine Hat Mohawks. All right, I'm here with head coach Dustin Ressler, the Crescent Heights Vikings. First of all, Dustin, how is the team feeling after the big win against Hat High last week?
Feeling really good after that win. It's been a long time since we beat Hat High, and it's a very good feeling.
How long did it take to sink in? I mean, 40-7 going to that game, that's a big score.
Yeah, it's huge. It took a while for it to sink in, actually. I don't think really until Saturday, Sunday did we actually really realize, the score 40-7 is a big score. It was a little bit closer than that, though. I watched the film a lot of times. It was 26-7 with less than 5 minutes left in the game, so got a little bit inflated at the end there. They played us hard, so it's a good feeling, but we have to keep a level head too.
What were some of the things that you liked about your team that you did on Friday night?
I really thought the line on both sides played really, really well. Our offensive line really controlled the running game, and our defensive line really blew up their formation in the backfield. I think our defensive ends, the adjustments we made, really was the difference in that game.
You mentioned that in order to be successful this year, you need to stay healthy and use a lot of the players on your team. Will that be the plan kind of heading into the next few weeks?
Yeah, Monday I preached to the guys. I said everybody needs to have a role on this team. By the end of this week, you need to be out there playing. We need to have everybody starting in some facet. We can't have guys, 6 or 7 of them going both ways and on special teams. You're going to get banged up, and we need guys that are second string, grade 10 kind of kids to step in and play a role.
You mentioned on Friday this game was huge for the confidence. Is it a little bit too much that the guys kind of walking a little bit too high right now?
Yeah, that's the concern that you do have as a head coach. It's only our second game of the year. We won 57-0 and 40-7. We don't want to peak too early, obviously. There's a long road ahead, and I think that's something that we just have to keep the kids grounded with.
Now, you're not playing a league game this week. What is your team up to?
We're heading to Cranbrook this weekend for a little bit of team building. We're really going to try and get a lot of the second string guys in, build that depth that we really need to be successful on our RFC run and our provincial run.
When you get back, you have a game against McCoy. What would be some of the things you're going to be working on in practice in order to execute there?
We had a lot of penalties in our last game against Hat High. We had a couple touchdowns come back because of silly penalties like offsides and procedure and things like that. So we really need to just crisp up. I think our playbook is really good right now. Insert a few things, but really get everything crisp and fire on all cylinders.
All right, head coach Dustin Ressler, thanks for doing this.
Thank you.
All right, I'm here with Al Guy, the head coach of the McCoy Colts football team. First of all, Al, how are the guys responding to the loss last week to Brooks so far?
We've had positive practices, and they realized penalties were a big issue, and that special teams big run there, that was 7 points that, man, you just can't let that happen. So really the team's pretty positive, so that's okay. I mean, we let one slip by. It was too bad, but it happens.
So what has this team been working on this week? And did you like what you saw out of Kevin Chopik and Sam Harvey as well?
Yeah, I mean, Sam, we got to get some more deception with him. I mean, he ran some good plays. Every time we got a first down, we could come back on a penalty. So we got a drive going. I looked at the tape, and it looked okay, but then the penalties really hurt us, and we can't have that if we want to play with these teams. We can't. We got to be more composed.
What's the mentality? Obviously, you're in a bye week. You're not playing this week. What's the mentality heading into the game against Crescent Heights next weekend?
They're full of confidence. They're a good team, and we got our work cut out for us, and we just want to compete against them, and play hard, and hopefully. We can compete with them, and you never know if we get a couple turnovers, a couple breaks, or a couple special teams things. But they are the team to beat, I think, this year. So basically, we got to contain their quarterback. They got some speed with number 7, and of course McGough running the ball. So basically, we got to gang tackle him and keep him limited. Don't let him get any space. So we're going to try to contain him, and that's what everybody's going to do, try to contain him, and we got to get their numbers. So if we can do that, hopefully we can shut down the big play. And that's the biggest focus against Crescent Heights, is shutting down the big play. If we can do that and make them earn it, and then offensively, we got to keep the ball in our hands, away from their offense. So that's kind of the game plan. So we'll see what happens.
All right, thanks for doing this, Al.
Okay, thank you.
It's Al Guy, the head coach of the McCoy Colts football team.